What golfers don't realise is that if you want to get better, you need to have a better mental approach, better course management, and a little bit of technical improvement to actually lower your scores. Now, we're going to do this on the par 5, 13th. It's, well, we're going to play it from the tips, 22 metres, can't read. But the 7 ways that I know you can make some huge gains in your golf game. Not your swing, your game.
And assuming you're not saying do all 7 at once.
No, like, I think being realistic, if we can get maybe 1, 2 of these, you probably even do maybe one of them already, then before you know it, you're sort of ticking a few of them off, and then we get better and better.
And there's a lot to the mental side of the game. And when you caddied on the now DP World Tour, that was a massive eye-opener for how much the mental game impacts golf. But you can utilise it more. Yeah,
100%. I think club golfers don't think of the mental approach because we feel like we play trivial golf in the sense of not playing for money, but actually us playing on a Saturday is like us playing for the DP World Tour final, like Rory McIlroy.
It is for your dad.
Yeah, but it is, and that's our pinnacle. So we have to realise we need elements of what those top players do, and anybody can do mental things to get better.
You know, being a member of a golf course is expensive. It becomes your life. It's a bit like me with football. If City don't play well on a Saturday, it affects my mood.
You just lost people there, General.
Might have gained a few, but you know, I get it. I get why there's the mood with it, and I understand that. You know, golfers invest so much in golf lessons and you don't want to waste it, so I feel like these pointers you're going to go through are a big winner for a lot of club golfers. And to be honest, I think even some people might think they do it, but they don't do it in the right way.
That's a really good point. So let's start with number 1. We'll start on the tee. We're going to play this entire hole. Let me show you this hole. 13th, unlucky for some. This is the hole. I like these course boards, by the way, they're nice. So starting here, we're going to right off the tips, not quite right at the back of the whites today. The whites are around about here, playing into here. I reckon a layup around here, pitching on, trying to avoid these bunkers, but we're playing from the tips, meters. Let me know, do you play meters or yards wherever you play? I'd love to know actually what you do. When we went to South Africa and I was caddying, we'd always play in meters when the altitude, because roughly 10% difference. Okay, so my first point in this is approaching a shot after you've just had a bit of a card wrecker. Now, not necessarily a card wrecker, but you just hit an absolute blunder. You've flubbed a chip again in a round, you've hit it into a bunker, you've lost the ball in the water, you've made a bit of a pig's ear of the previous shot. What I want you to do, I want you to realise, when you're getting to the next shot, which follows, so it might be a tee shot, it might be a bunker shot, it might be another chip shot, but when you're getting to the next shot that follows one where you made a pig's ear of it, pig's ear in English means you've made a bit of an arse of it. Is that really an English term, pig's ear?
Yeah, that's right.
Pig's ear. Okay, I was questioning myself then. But when you're getting within 5 yards, you've got to imagine there's a bubble around your shot. Okay, and what I mean by that is the bubble essentially is your reset. And I'd actually add to this, which I think is a really good important point. If you've even hit a really good shot, like a chip in or something, it's important to stay a bit more level.
Don't get carried away.
Yeah, don't get carried away. Yeah. So I want you to imagine how you're going to deal. My first point is going to really help you be a better golfer, whether it's being a horrendous shot or a good shot. When you're within 5 yards of your next, there is a bubble. That resets, everything's forgotten, and how I sort of distinguish that, because it's easier said than done, click your fingers. Now, or you could tap your leg, go in your pocket. Something that's discreet. It might sound trivial this, but this is what me and some of my players worked on, because you do hit bad shots, but it's how you deal with them, and this is part of it.
I think the video we did, I can't remember when it was, but we were talking about risk.
Yeah.
And I think when you're talking about don't get carried away, that's where the risk comes in. If you had a really good shot, you've birdied 2 in a row thinking, oh yeah, that's it, right, bunker or water, it doesn't matter, I'm on form today, and then boom, you're in it, and then everything's just gone out the window. I think that's probably a good example of not getting carried away.
Couldn't agree more. Don't get carried away, because like you say, before you know it, you've affected the next shot. So that's my first point. Think of your 5-yard bubble. I'm going to go quickly into our second point, so we're already into number 2 here. And again, these make such a big difference. They might seem trivial, which is why people don't talk about them on YouTube, but I actually find these things make more than just doing a drill after time, after time, after time. So my next point, my ball's fallen off the tee, everybody would say 1 there probably, is the tempo with driver. It's hard to have tempo, it really is. And I often find if you have your first tee shot that's good, you get better, you get faster, or you're on the first tee with some nerves, or you're coming down the last few holes with a great score in your hand. I want you to think about your driver swing is gear 3. Gear 1 being the slowest, Gear 5 being the fastest one in your car, Gear 3 being the smoothest. It's a little bit like this. So we're already point number 2. Let's get this down that fairway. This is a beautiful looking tee shot, by the way.
It is. It looks a bit like a thumbnail that we've done before.
It does. I've never been to Augusta, but that hill up there with these pine trees, I'm going to say it's a little bit like Augusta looking.
One day.
One day. Okay, here we go. Wow, there we go. I mean, that wasn't the best drive, but Gear 3, we have found the middle of that fairway, and I'm in no trouble. Let's quickly get into my next point, but there's our first 2. Your 5-yard bubble and Gear 3 swings with driver all day long. My next point, and everybody watching, is swing thoughts. Now, I guess as a golf coach, I'm always encouraging people to improve, get better, and I appreciate sometimes that means you need a certain amount of swing thoughts. You need to think about what you're trying to do, whether it's backswing, downswing, or whatever. But there's actually a really good way we can start to manage this. I want you to have 2 swing thoughts max, because then you can build that into a pre-shot routine. Now, I would always have a backswing thought, so whether that be smooth, tempo, club face, or a drill that you've been doing, and then I would have a downswing thought. That is what I would limit myself to. By the way, I'd say limit. If there's just one swing thought, but by all means have one swing thought.
I think what I would find hard as a good golfer is that if I've been working on, you know, if I'm working on a certain thing, how do I stop myself from thinking about that? So for example, let's say I'd recently had a driver lesson and been working on this. You're saying work on them too. How do I just stop myself from thinking about the stuff I've been working on?
Let me show you an pre-shot routine, because there's actually a really good way. Oh, the brake needs to go on. There's a really good way of doing that, having a thinking zone and a playing zone, virtual line, cross it, boom, in. Let me show you. I'm just going to lay up here. I'm going smart. I don't know what's over that brow, and I hate hitting blind shots, so I'm just going to a little punchy 5 just over that hill, straight down. But let's get back into this, right? So this is our point number 3 of 7. Em just asked me a really brilliant question about how would you do that, because realistically you're always going to work on your game. So let me just draw a virtual line here. Whoa! Playing zone, thinking zone. This is all within 5 yards, isn't it? So it all really builds into one sort of thing. So let me tell you what I'm thinking about in my swing right now. My elbow gets like this all the time. I hate it. So I'm constantly working on letting this right arm and this trail arm fold more.
Don't I know it?
In the mirror at home all the time.
Oh God.
Like that in the mirror. Get it right, Alex.
I bet you 99% of people watching this will do that. They'll stand there and they'll be talking about what they're having for the tea. Oh, I'm having chicken Kievs. And while they're doing that, they do, oh God.
Like that. Like that.
We did a video years ago, about 4 years ago,
yes.
No, maybe more, when we were at the old house, and they got so many views. It was just you stood in different places.
You caught me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to briefly go over that, because I'm not that obsessed, but I'm obsessed with golf.
Maybe we should redo that video.
Yeah, maybe we should. Well, you've got to try and catch me. I'll try and watch out for you now. So, the first thing that I would feel would be practice that fold. Now, on the way down, I'm trying to avoid this flip. So my other feeling is that bit more of this sort of flexion look, especially with an iron, even more so than iron, right? So I'm trying to feel fold and flexion. That's my first practice swing, and this shouldn't take long at all. My second bit, I'd make a full shot swing. Now, I'm trying to play a bit more of a punchy shot here, so my shot swing, my second one today, and this particular shot is going to be here, here, behind my golf ball, walk in. And when I cross that line, I get more involved in my aim and my shot as opposed to my swing thoughts. I've got to leave them back there. I've got the feelings, I'm now in on the shot. So let's play this, let's get it down there and get into our next point. Oh, I enjoyed that one. That was so satisfying.
I cannot believe this hole.
How good is it?
Yeah, like we filmed at a lot of different golf courses abroad, but this hole.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. So the question I asked before, just briefly, on the whole driver thing, so you're effectively saying, let's say, the driver drill that was about trying to get under the alignment stick, so you're effectively saying you'd work on that, you do one practice swing on it, then you do your full swing on it, and then that's it.
Yeah, and
so
then
it's like a 1, 2, go.
Exactly, 1, 2, go. Then when you're over that shot,
then you can think about things in play.
Yeah, exactly. And that I said about that video, but the ghost effect.
Yes.
You would imagine it's there. You could imagine it's there for sure, but get more involved in that shot. Right, let's get into our next point. There's the green in front of us. Right there. Oh, there's a halfway house just there as well.
Don't aim wrong.
Don't go long. Otherwise, it'd be in someone's bacon, probably bacon sarnies here, we're in Portugal. Pastel de nata, those cakes are unreal. So, what I want you to think about here is factoring where you should aim when there is trouble. So, let's break the green into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and then this being 4. When the flag is in quadrant number 3, so here, you can go at that flag all day long. When we're looking at a flag between 1 and 2, or even 3 and 4, and when you've got trouble on that corresponding side, then we've got to be very careful and aim away from it. So this is a great example here. We've got a flag, it's probably a bit closer to that, to be fair, it's my drawing. It's probably more sort of on the border of 1 and 2 quadrant. I would never, ever, ever go at that flag because there is this bunker here, trouble. I'd always then get my aim between 2 and 3, okay? Let's say this flag was in quadrant number 4 over here, I would aim then between 3 and 4. So I'm always taking my aim towards the centre, away from the trouble. You've also got to factor in your shot shape. If you are a fader of the golf ball, let's say, you could maybe, if you were a fader of the golf ball, you'd maybe aim here to anticipate the ball moving in this way. If you were a drawer, I would definitely be on this line to this flag, okay? So this is how you've got to factor in risk and shot shape. If your flag is in quadrant 1 or 4, or right on that border, and the trouble's on that corresponding side, aim away from it. In the middle, it's a green light all day. I'm going to hit this one to practice what I preach. Oh, a little bit down the right. Get over that bunker. We're dancing at least. That wasn't my finest hour, but we're going to have a long putt. Right, this leads me nicely on to my next one, the 9 to 3 pitch. Got my pitching wedge, I've got a golf ball, and what I mean is a 9 to 3 is when we sort of stand over the golf ball, we've got the feeling of pitching positions. 9 o'clock being here, 12 o'clock being above my head, and 3 o'clock here, okay? That's what I've got to try and pitch like. And if you carry, let me know in the comments actually, how many wedges do you have? I have pitching wedge, I have my 50, my 54, and my 58. I know exactly how far each of them go at that 9 to 3 position. So I have my pitching wedge, I reckon about here actually, 100 yards, 9 to 3. So this is my 5. This is point number 5.
Yeah, because you've got the putt in and we'll remember the what I did.
Bunker.
Bunker.
This is point number 5. So 9 to 3 is 9 to 3.
What do people do normally then, if it's not 9 to 3?
And this is where they lose strike, and it's a really great question because a lot of people swing the same distance back, slow up into the ball and try and gauge distance that way. You'll lose spin, you'll lose strike, you'll lose control. I don't want you to do any of them. Okay, so watch this. This is my 9 to 3. Just get really good at 9 to 3 with every single one of your wedges. You'll always have a shot to play into a green. Right, 9 to 3, right here. Get a bit closer, a bit more over the golf ball, ball towards the back of the stance, weight feathers lead side, and then it's 9 to 3. Oh, I'll tell you what, Ems, tell you what. Woo-hoo-hoo. That was good.
That was good.
Okay, let's get into my final 2 points. Bunkers first though. This is point number 6. This flag is perfect. Tight left for what we're talking about, how to factor in aim when there is trouble. And
the ick is back.
It's back. Ick, for everybody that understands, hates the fact that I have this whiteboard, but I actually really think it helps me explain to you exactly how to factor in trouble.
I think it's practical and I think it's great. I think it's more the fact of how excited you are when it was delivered.
Yeah, I was a very good keeper, but when I draw things like this...
It's better than the last drawing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't got any worse, the last one, to be fair. Right, okay, so this is basically what we have in front of us right here. We'll explain this, let's get out the buggy. My lob wedge, and I'll take my putter too, and we'll cover these two. That's the first point. Bunkers, lobber, all day. Well, not lobber, but let's say your sand wedge, your 58, your 60 are the clubs you want. So, pitch shot, there is that 7-iron we hit, which is two pretty good shots. Must have got a kick off the back of that bunker because there's no pitch mark. So, I will repair that pitch mark by the way there. Let's just talk bunkers really briefly. So my recipe here to avoid disaster is don't get too cute. And this is a great example. See how there's very little distance between fringe and flag? You avoid disaster, you avoid like wrecking your card. So little distance there between fringe and flag. It'd be really easy for me to be really cute with this and leave it in the fringe. And then I'm costing myself a shot. I want to be leaving this here with a putt, okay? I don't want to be being cute and leaving it in or leaving it on the fringe. So my advice to you is open face, loft and speed. Just have your priorities right here in the bunker. Get it out. It's a bunker, it's a hazard, it's here to trick you up. Don't let it do it more than it should. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to even aim away from that flag. Get it out on the green. I know it's not close, but what I'm trying to avoid, God, that's quick. I thought it was going to stop like 10 foot away. I'm trying to avoid leaving it just here because I see it so many times. I'm like, you could have just put more speed in that. You're out, 2 putt, walk off the hole. The shot that cost you was the one into the green. But now it's not going to because you've got the aiming strategy. My final point is really, really short putts. I'm talking like this length here, right? I like flag out. Let me know what you want to do, but I just think flag out makes the hole look bigger. So I would never just walk up and tap it in if it was for something. Especially here, there's a bit of slope on this. Use the line on your golf ball, point it to where you want the ball to start. So I would say sort of right half here, okay? And just take your time over it. I always said this to somebody, if I just take 5 seconds more hole in it, if I have to make 2 putts, that's going to take the same amount of time. I know what I'd rather do. Take 5 seconds, I have 1 less shot, move on to the next, and lower my scores. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, if you do enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel and turn that bell so you never miss some simple golf tips that are going to help you lower your scores.